Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining. It's Thursday, over the hump. The stream came fast this morning. I won't lie. I just literally ran in front of the camera just now with my cup of coffee. Coffee crew is rolling in here. Thanks for tuning in on the live stream live. But if you're watching on the replay, always appreciate it. It's we go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to about 8:45. It'd be great to have you join on. But if you're watching on the replay, that's okay too. Everybody that's here, everybody that's watching, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. It really helps with the channel. The channel is growing. I keep getting a few questions on that, and monetization, that was kind of coming through, and it's almost there, working there, slowly but surely. Goal is the end of this month, so fingers crossed if we can do that. I have to get my butt in gear, do a few more update videos, and keep on doing these live streams, which help as well. And these are a lot of fun. Gets my day started. Even though if I'm in a rush to start these, it's funny. I get up early, relax, and then all of a sudden I look at the clock and it's like, oh geez, I gotta get going here. And it's almost it's literally almost 8 o'clock as I get going. So coffee crew's here. We'll say hellos. I've got my coffee. It is hot. Hopefully yours is too. Let me know if you're drinking coffee or tea or what's going on in the comments. The comments always help. Let's see who was first. I know Candace is still under the weather, so Nadia, you take the prize today. Good morning, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. You beat Candace, but you know what? She's been under the weather, so it's maybe not a fair competition anymore. But hopefully she's back soon. And Stan, good morning. Always here. Awesome. Good to have you here. Hopefully your day is going well so far. It's almost Friday. One more day, and it's Friday. And Abigail here as well. Hello. Good to have you here. And MC, always here. Good morning. Hopefully you're doing good too. Do you get a prize? I don't know. Yeah, someone I think I'll actually beat Candace the other day too. Yeah, maybe we could find some. I don't know what kind of prize we could give out. Channel VIP or something like that. I don't think I can. It's too bad that YouTube doesn't allow that to give out prizes. I should figure something out. There must be a way. There must be some kind of thing that does a little. Might be fun to do a little trivia thing or something like that on one of these live streams. That might be kind of fun to do, but and then maybe give out some, I don't know, some kind of prize of something, a gift card for an air horn or something. Yeah, I could get sound effects. It's funny, Nadia used to watch, my other channel used to do streams back, this is going way back in 2020, which all know what's happened. Everybody's at home, and I started to do, because I used to be a chef, I started to do actually some live cooking shows on the old channel. The old channel, because you're stuck at home, can't have friends over. We just moved to kind of a new apartment, and you want to have friends over to housewarming and all that kind of stuff, and couldn't do it. So we did live cooking shows for an hour. It was fun. I did that for a little bit. I actually did it 3 times a week, and everybody kind of joined. Friends would join in, and I'd cook dinner and I would eat it, and it was actually kind of a fun time. It was a good thing, but lots of work. That was the thing with that live stream as well, getting ready for preparing all the food and stuff to cook a different recipe every day. But that was a lot of fun. And Nadia, and the thing is with that, where she's coming with the air horn, is my other channel was monetized, and with monetization you can have the super chats and super thanks and all that kind of stuff. So if someone, I had it set up and I had it rigged on the live stream, I had a disco light, and if someone sent a super chat, the disco light would go off in the background, and then I would kind of do a little dance, and then there'd be an air horn sound effect. So I could get those back. I could get that back, Nadia. That's what I'll do. As soon as the channel is monetized, we'll get that. We'll bring the air horn back. It was like a DJ air horn. That was fun. A lot of fun. There we go. Brings back memories. That's too good. All right, so update today. I didn't really pull up a lot of news today, slacking today, and because I always try and, like I said, I always try and find good news. So if anything is on anybody's mind, by all means, fire it into the comments. Get the chat going. It always helps. And if you have so if there's something in particular on your mind, TFSA, an ETF, and investing, what have you, fire it away, and we can definitely talk about that. If I can't help it, answer the question, there's usually someone in the chat that can steer us in the right direction. Never disappoints. The coffee crew. But on that note, portfolio, I did do an update to the portfolio on the channel yesterday, so you can catch that back on the channel if you haven't watched it already. That is there, just the regular TFSA update. It's doing okay. I'm kind of happy with. I mean, it's still in the red, obviously, but it's kind of happy where things are with it and increasing. I mean, we had a decent kind of day. We've had a decent year actually with cryptocurrencies, which is good because I do have that positions, a couple of small positions in the portfolio with that. So that's helped, bring that up. Tesla has been on a tear lately, doing amazing. That's the one, the Tesla CDR and the Tesla yield are the ones that are pulling my portfolio up quite a bit, which is good, which is nice to see. I checked it again today. It's looking good actually, considering what's kind of happening with the market today. Not that I'm day trading or that kind of thing, but that is nice to see that kind of carrying on. And on the portfolio this morning, I finally got caught up. My deposit was in limbo, waiting to clear, I guess, for whatever reason through Wealthsimple. So it did this morning. So I actually got back on track with my purchases, and so I had the money transferred over. I caught up on buying, so I bought two shares of. Sorry, I topped it up quite a bit actually because I had more. I topped up 4 shares of VDY, and then I bought 2 shares of VFE. So pretty large, bigger deposit than normal, but that's what I was waiting for it to come through. So I'm caught up on my dollar cost averaging, which is awesome. And then I basically had, with those I did have some extra funds in there. I just kind of added to a few of the positions that I did have that I've been wanting to add to. BEP.UN I did. I'll go into way more detail when I get into the portfolio update. BEP.UN I wanted to add to. I also added some more RNW, some more BTC.Y, and a little bit of the Evolve cryptocurrency one as well, which I still want to hold that one. So I would, that one is down still quite a bit, but added some to that one. So I was shopping this morning. So I don't know if anybody else has bought anything today or this week. Let us know in the comments. It's always good to hear what people are doing. And so pretty happy with kind of how things are going and how the portfolio is going, slow and steady, which is nice. Oh, MC, so you found my old channel. Yeah, I don't really, it is definitely an eclectic mix of videos. I started off, that's the thing with YouTube. You kind of start off doing different things, and it's really just my name, it's me. So kind of things I had done, and always really been into photography. But one of my jobs was going around and filming, taking pictures of different like hotels and resorts and stuff like that. So shared some of those on the channel. Also big into other things, getting outside, hiking, camping. So there's a few of that on there. And then I kind of just found it kind of all shifted towards photography and the cameras, and that's kind of where I do it. I've been really spending a lot more time on this channel right now. That one kind of does its thing. I share things over there when it happens, and also the weather's been lousy, so to get out and take pictures and stuff, it's always not as great. I kind of like to have nice weather to get out, go for a walk, take some pictures, but it comes in waves, but that's okay. But thanks for subscribing. That's awesome. I don't really cross, promote, because they're different topics, right? YouTube finds different people for different channels. So I haven't really, I talk about that channel, but I don't market between the two. I don't share this one on that one and that one on this one as much, except on the live streams, but they're kind of fun to do. And that channel's been going for years. I've had that one going. So, maybe one day this one will have that many subscribers. I don't know. The goal on this one is just to keep plugging away and learn. Really, it's not as much as about getting subscribers or anything like that. I think it's just I've used this channel to learn a lot, and it's really helped out. That's for sure. Especially I found these live streams. I can share on this channel my portfolio and my thoughts, but it's nice to be able to learn from the coffee crew as we go on this journey, that I'm trying to, save up to $100,000, and I'll have more. Like, that's the good thing. As I've kind of learned, that's the goal. That was the goal of the channel, but I'll eventually have more in my TFSA than $100,000. I just have to be patient. Patience is the key. That's what I'm learning, and it'll get there. It'll get there eventually, slow and steady, which is nice. It's nice to see it grow. It's nice to look back, and because it's always, when you're first starting out, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? And then it just, each month, it just, even if you're just putting a little amount, it just builds and builds. Like, I had a perfect example today. I have the Slate office REIT. That dividend came in today, and I almost have enough shares to buy a full share, which is awesome. So it starts to really snowball, which is great. So I think everything in the portfolio will eventually be able to keep just building and building and building, and you really see that. I've started to really notice that more so this past year, not so much the first year. It's just as you're kind of building up, the dividends are there, obviously, but this past year especially, it really added up. Like, I saved. Let me just pull that up. Actually, I'll pull up my. I can pull up my my dividend sheet for 2022. Let me just pull it up here. So, like, my total dividends it's just loading here. My total dividends for the entire year of 2022 were, let me see if I can, you know what, I can probably share this. Sorry, bear with me here. There we go. So these are my dividends for 2022. As you can see, like, each quarter it's gone up, which is awesome. And like last quarter 4 2022, I was up just over $100. So you can see how it's growing. I obviously started the portfolio in 2021, but in April 2021. So I just started using the spreadsheet for 2022. I haven't gone back and done 2021 just because I haven't bothered. But you can see each month, like each month obviously goes up, but each quarter too, 55, 34 in quarter 1, 22, 68, 68, 62 in quarter 2, 82, 32 in quarter 3, and then $100.43 in quarter 4, which is awesome. And then even going in, let me see if I can find. I've done 2023, and let's see where we're at. So already with January, let's share this here. With January, it's already at just with one month, $64.29, and that's only January. So it's snowballing, which is awesome. It's nice to kind of see that. If I go back, so $64, already in 1 month, and I'll go back to January of 2022. My dividends of 2022 for January were only, like, I've already passed the quarter in 1 month, but my January 2022 dividends were let's pull that up, were $23. So I'm already, like, way over doubled, right? Tripled almost, the dividends that are coming through on the portfolio, which is awesome. It's nice to see that. So if people aren't kind of tracking and looking, it's nice to be able to have these, if you are investing and continuing to invest, keep track of these things. I know, like, Wealthsimple the app doesn't really give you a great interface to it'd be nice if Wealthsimple app, you could go over to a page and see this breakdown, because you get your dividends, you get the email with your dividends, and you get, it'll show in the list of what you received. You can go into your statements and obviously look at it more, but it'd be nice if it was actually in the app and kind of more of a graphic. It's nice to see it like in some kind of spreadsheet where it's like a graphic and you can see it actually grow, have grown up. It's nice to be able to check that easily. It's manually to put it in. Obviously, I go through every month and just total it up and manually put it in. It doesn't pull any info out of Wealthsimple for the spreadsheet, obviously, but it's nice to see it. Like, it's nice to see it snowball. So you can look at that and you can look back and go, okay, well, all this work is actually finally paying off, which it takes a little bit of time in the portfolio, of investing to actually see the bigger results. But once they start to happen, I've really noticed that, and especially like with just checking out that dividend for January already, I'm like, this is great. So keep plugging away, keep investing, and moving forward with my regular deposits. That's that's basically the plan. On the portfolio. Let's just close that page off. On that spreadsheet, if anybody wants a copy of that, I have a copy. It's on a Google Drive, dividend tracker. I did do a video of it, so it is on the channel. You can check out that video, but you can also send me, if you want, obviously the email's on the About page. If you want to get a link to that one, I have a blank one that you can copy. You need to have Google Docs, but I think most people kind of have that, a Google account. To be able to open it, and you can save it and you do keep your own version of it if you wanted to do it. It's a basic one. I found it online. I found it online as well. I edited it a little bit, but it's free. So if anybody wants it, you can have it. I know there's some places you can buy a spreadsheet that has a lot more features and stuff on it, but this one, it seems to work good for me, and it's easy to input your info in there. Just have to keep diligent in it to go in once a month and calculate manually your dividends and fire it in and keep track. And then each year just make a copy of the spreadsheet for 2023, 2020 carries on, right? So there we go. If anybody wants that, you can shoot me an email. The only thing that caught me in terms of news today, now if anybody else has any news articles that have caught their eye, fire it in the comments. It's all we can. I'll take a search and see if we can pull it up. If you have some info, I only really pulled up because this is one I know some of the coffee crew has. Unfortunately, not good for Shopify today. I don't know. A few people I know got into Shopify and doing quite well with Shopify. But they're giving. It seems like every company's giving like weak outlooks for 2023. It seems to be 2023 is the weak outlook year, and it's unfortunately down today. Shopify's had a good run, a good run this year. But it's unfortunately dropped today about 15%. So hopefully, obviously, I don't know, some people, this is a whole thing that's difficult. You want to be patient and hold stuff, but sometimes, if you're having second thoughts, I guess some people probably sold yesterday, but hindsight always 2020, but down a little bit today, weaker than expected outlook, rising costs, challenging macroeconomic environment. It seems like you can just copy and paste their, any company's earnings to each one, because they're all very, very the same. And there you go. So yeah, MC is in Shopify. So these are the kind of, I don't own Shopify. MC, but you would know the stock better than I would. I don't follow it really that closely, other than if it pops up on my feed. But these are the kind of ones. I think this year it really had a good run up this year as well. So even with a 15%, drop today, you're still probably doing okay. Let me just pull it up and see. And let's share this. Yeah, year to date, you're still up 24%. So can't complain. We've had a good. I think we've had a good year so far. Obviously, things are still volatile as heck out there, but I think if this comes back down to patience and everything else. If you're patient and continuing, if you're dollar cost averaging or getting in at a good position, which you think is you can take these little bits of drop, these drops, because you're still up 24, almost 25%. So that's okay, and it will probably, like I said, yeah. And is it, so it is, yeah, it is, like I said, it was, we can bring that back up, still up this year to date, 24. It's always it's always a bit delayed when your comments come through and I talk and then it comes to you. So you're probably seeing this, but yeah, still up 20, almost 25% this year, which is amazing, which is awesome. So nothing really to complain about. I think if anything, I'm not. It's not never financial advice to say buy it, but if you have convictions for this for it is take it as sometimes opportunity, right? To add more if you're able to and want to, right? That's the one thing. That's one kind of thing I've gone into when I purchase. I'm still buying and I added today. I've been wanting to for a long time. I just haven't had the funds and had the because I still want to stick with VDY and VFE. But I added today to, like I said, Brookfield Renewables. I think long term that's a good buy, a good purchase for me, anyways. And so I was able to add a couple more, some more shares of that, because it's down to almost like 2-year low, and I see, and just with everything that's happening with environmental, energy and green energy down the road, I think in 10, 15 years, hopefully that one will pay off. But it's a patience one, I think, that's for sure. Yeah, that does make sense. I'm really noticing that, MC. So as long as not every stock in your portfolio is the same or similar, then it should all even out. So you have diversity of types of companies and sectors. Yeah, and I'm noticing that a bit more in my portfolio now that I've kind of put stuff into I have not a huge position, but like Diversified Royalty Corp. I still have the REIT. My RioCan I've sold. I still have Slate Office REIT. I do have the crypto. I really don't have, other than like energy, oil is in VDY, but I'm now seeing definitely a bit more, like a lot of times, and now that at least cryptocurrencies is having a good year as well, so far. The portfolio, yeah, it's not like everything's in the. If it's a bad day, it's not like everything's coming down. It's definitely some different types of movements, and I think we're seeing that maybe this year, because I think this year is a better year than last year. I mean, last year everything was just terrible, right? Even I can look over into my invest side of Wealthsimple, and because that is way more diversified than my TFSA it has US. It's mostly in equities. I have smaller positions. You have to have some type of position in the invest side. In bonds, it's not very high, but the like emerging markets, last year, like everything just got hammered. But at least this year, it's nice to see this. It's definitely kind of evening out. Is where I'm going with that long term. And yeah, the REITs seem to be doing okay. My RioCan was up. I was happy with it for sure. The reason selling, I think I just saw. I'm learning slowly. I saw the opportunity. I think with the to put it into the Tesla yield, and it's paid off for me. So just took that as an opportunity. I still have the Slate Office REIT. It's doing okay. Haven't changed dividends, so I'm happy about that. We'll hang on to that one. So you follow REITs. They are doing quite good. BEI.UN, DIR.UN, GRT.UN, and DIR.UN. I should start. You know what, MC? I'll start a REIT. Let's start a REIT list. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to say here. Let's pull up the list. Let's pull up that, and let's add these to the. Let's add these to the REITs. We'll do a REIT because we haven't actually done that yet. All right. So BEI, Boardwalk REIT. Let's see how they're doing year to date. Yeah, up 18% year to date. So that one is doing good. Let's add this to the REIT. Come on. Why doesn't it? Oh, weird. It didn't save it. Now it will. There we go. And DIR. That one's doing very good year to date, 24%. I have 2 REITs now. Shoot. Great. Hold on here. I'm going to delete this one. And GRT. GRT.UN, I think. Yep. Up 20% this year. These are nice ones you're watching, MC, that's for sure. REIT. And GRT and DIR. Oh, I think I did that twice. DIR looks interesting. There we go. Let's pull those. REIT. So DRI is your one of your favorite. I think you were right. Year to date, 25%. There you go. Not too bad. Good call. Oh, I emailed you a link to the Wealthsimple 9% FAQ. Oh, so you found that online. Oh, okay. Seems to be interesting, but I wouldn't be investing in it personally. Okay, I'll have to pull. You know what? Let me just MC while we're here. I might as well. Let's pull that up. I'll quickly check my email. Give me 1 sec. There's been a few things popping up with Wealthsimple new stuff. Wealthsimple private credit. Oh, interesting. Good find. There's always are hidden in their thing. So interesting what they're doing here. Investing in private credit, participate private credit, high net worth portfolios. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, so they're doing, it's basically, so you're doing private lending, private, so you're getting those, I mean, if they're saying 9%, I mean, if you're doing a private investment, that's actually not a terrible return. I would be concerned, what do they invest in? Loans made directly by fund management team to medium-sized companies. Loan made to banks to medium-sized companies. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll have to read more into this. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily something I would invest in necessarily either. Might not be for everybody, but thanks for that link. I'm going to read that after. That's awesome. Yeah, they're kind of looking for new ways, I think, to bring in new, not just bring in new clients, but also keep existing clients there, right? Because everybody's obviously looking for return, for their investments. So I think that's a way they must. I'm going to assume the private investing side is probably rolling out to people that have certain levels of savings and assets on their platform. It's probably not something that's for everybody. Okay, yeah. I have to look at what the fees are. It looks like it doesn't it's a 3-year investment horizon roughly. Which accounts can hold the fund? Oh, you can hold it in a managed account though, or RSP. That's interesting. You can't have it in your self-directed. Okay, that makes sense. What are the fees? The fees are always at the bottom. Asset management fee of 1.25% on top of Wealthsimple standard account fees. Okay. If the fund returns more than 5%, a 50% carry fee applies. Yeah, it's pretty hefty on the fees actually. That's the one thing. You might want to look at maybe something like that. It would depend on how liquid it is too, right? Like that's the one thing you get into these investments and they're not very liquid. Same with the mortgage, right? With a MIC. You have to make sure it just depend. A lot of them, it depends on how you're investing in it. I mean, I do. That's what I do is private mortgage lending, right? So, but we're not a MIC. It's private individuals. So, it's when someone is placing a mortgage, you're locked in for at least a year, for that, because they're typically 1 year terms. In terms of fees though, Wealthsimple, yeah, that's a little bit more, because in a MIC, I don't know, everyone's probably different on what the fee structures are. I can't really speak for other companies, but we usually do, like on our end, we'll do, it's a 1% administration, basically a 1% administration fee. So, for example, if you're loaning if the loan is for 9%, you'll make 8%. That's kind of how it works, essentially. But yeah, you might be going somewhere like with a MIC and pay less fees, and also pay be a bit more liquid depending on the investment. But it's interesting. At least they're trying new things, right? For different things. Obviously, with investments, it's never bad to kind of diversify, right? So it might be the right fit for somebody. I haven't got that email. And yeah, that's the thing. Private mortgage is you're holding. Yeah, you're not diverse. You're not necessarily diversified, because you're putting it all typically in one property, right? A MIC does provide kind of more hands off, because it goes into a pool, which obviously you hedge. It's less risky, but the downside, yeah, is fixed different returns, right? MIC looks at 75 admin fee. Okay, and no other fees for the investor. The borrower pays all the fees associated. Yeah, that's basically how on a private mortgage too. If we do one, we do charge like an administration fee, ongoing administration fee. It's comes out of your return, so obviously it gets paid as your monthly payments come in. It comes off of that, but there's no, like, in terms of fees for borrowers, or the borrower pays all the fees in terms of setup fees, right? Legal fees, that kind of thing. But yeah. And that's a very, very, very good call at this point, exactly, with the GICs where they are. Look at the returns, right? Say a GIC is paying 5%, then if your mortgage is lending out at 7%, for the 2%, it's sometimes not worth the risk, for sure. I agree. Absolutely agree. That's why private lending rates are quite have gone up substantially, for sure, because there's obviously more risk, but also if an investor can get 5% in a GIC with basically zero risk, they're going to want to lend for more than 7%, right? So rates definitely have increased on that side of it. Even places like Equitable Bank, like I know they lend, like their GICs, right? Or their GICs are 5% they're paying, but the mortgages they're loaning on are in the mid 7s. So there's the spread, right? That's the big thing. Sorry, we'll get into your one sec. MC, we'll grab it. Paul, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And I see your next comment. I'll mention, but MC, with the market is slowing down. You have to be careful. The mix, yeah, definitely. You have to look. That's one thing we're seeing. issues with is issues are with loan to value sometimes, but not always loan to value. But the big thing with private financing is getting an exit strategy for the borrower. You obviously don't want to put the borrower into something that they're never going to get out of, because it's expensive, right? It's a solution sometimes for people, but it should be a short-term solution. And the biggest thing is getting an exit of this. That's the one thing. And because it's also so much more difficult to qualify for any mortgage now, because rates have gone higher, so it's harder for people to qualify. Whereas in the past, people would get a private mortgage for whatever reason, but typically a lot of times it was because their credit wasn't the greatest. That's changed. For sure. Sometimes now it's because, there's obviously every situation's different, but a lot of times they partly can't qualify for a traditional mortgage with their incomes. So they're going to these alternate spaces, right? Equitable Bank is one of them, but also to private financing is another one. And at this point, you have to really look at what the exit strategy is, because especially if values are dropping and they keep adding more debt, how are they have to make sure the solution to an exit isn't to keep refinancing. That's not an exit. So you have to be careful. So if you're investing in real estate, mortgage investment corps or mortgages or anything, definitely do your due diligence. That's for sure. But there is lots of good MC. It's not all bad. There is lots of good alternate types of files out there that we're still seeing that come across our desks. There's, for whatever reasons, really still lots of low loan to value loans that need a solution, and we're still loaning. And yeah, it's true. When financial lending market is loose, lenders are pretty close to giving away money, and especially when you see property values are obviously increasing. That's not happening anymore. So you have to definitely be careful with what you're going in with loan to value, and what the biggest thing, very tight. They do make it riskier, but then worth that coming if you know the risk. The reward it's risk reward, right? So the rates are higher. We're seeing rates that are a lot higher than what they were getting a year ago. So. And Paul, good question. You missed it earlier, kind of coming in. I saw your comments on the channel. You're down. Yeah, I'm down as well. Obviously, you missed the very beginning, I think. I bought more RNW today to average down my cost. Long term, I see it coming, kind of coming back up. But and also the dividends haven't been decreased or anything yet. So it's a tough call. It's one of the ones that I'm quite down on, which is unfortunate. But I think the drop has hopefully happened, and I added a few more shares into it with my deposit today. So not financial advice or anything, but again, if anybody else has any thoughts on RNW, it has not been doing that great. It kind of started off. It's over a year ago now. They had some issues with some of their turbines. That kind of dropped it down, and it's just their outlook not the greatest, but they're sticking with their dividend. So I still haven't done anything with it. Everything on my portfolio is really bought as a long-term hold anyways. So it's kind of like I'll kind of ride it. I think I'll ride that one out for a bit, as long as the dividends carry on. But it's tough. And it's tough when it's down. That's for sure. Do let me know what you decide to do. It's much the same. It seems like a lot of, look at, what's the other, it's not renewable, but was it Algonquin took a big hit too, wasn't it? Algonquin, I think it was. I can't remember now. One thing I got today, MC, and because I was moving stuff around in my account, and I was, I had a thing come up because I was going to withdraw from my account in Wealthsimple, and because what I was doing was I was just moving some stuff around, and I'll share it on the community tab later, but it actually popped up because it didn't want me to make a withdrawal. It actually popped up. Let me find it here because I did a screenshot. I obviously won't be able to share it that easily, but it offered me the app popped up basically to stay invested, one-time offer, 1% if I kept it for, like, basically they would deposit 1% of what I was trying to withdraw into my account in if I kept it for 90 days. I found that really interesting. I went to read their terms and conditions of it all, and then it disappeared. So it's like, I guess it really is a one-time offer, but I was just trying to move stuff around, and that's what happened. I'll share it on my community tab. So I don't know if anybody's ever got that from Wealthsimple. I guess they don't want you to withdraw your money. Okay, good call. There you go, Paul. Hopefully that helps a little. So not specific to RMG, but renewables that MC is kind of watching is NPI, BX, and BEP. I guess we could add, you know what, let's add a renewables. I'm going to add TransAlta to it as well. And we can add that into there. BEP, yeah, I do kind of, I think I'm kind of leaning more towards BEP to put more money into if I had it than TransAlta, but we'll have to see. Let's add a renewable. We'll add some renewables. Let's do this here. That's that one. We want, there it is. Brookfield Renewables. Why is that page not switching? Caught. That's weird. Oh well, weird. I will share it. It's not switching my screens. Brookfield Renewables. Sorry, one sec here. BX. NPI. Northland Power. Okay, and we'll do RNW. There we go. Unfortunately, I can't share the screen. It's frozen on me. And that's the big thing, yeah. Success does rely on the policy towards it. But I think it's going there, right? Like whether it's going to be longer than we think it's going to be, but it seems to be, that's the, it's like it's the buzzword just with every, everywhere, every country wanting to go green for the most part. And I believe BEP did a purchase. Was it Westy? It was something to do with nuclear as well. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, not sure. They did some BEP. They bought. Did they buy it or sell it? Anyways, I can't remember. I'd have to track it down. Yeah, that's the thing. 1% over 90 days doesn't seem like much incentive. Was I enticed? I was a little bit, I guess, because it's like, but I had some funds. It was in my savings, so I had to I had to bring it over. It was just because I had to transfer into my like day to day, like just to pay bill, like pay bills basically. So that was kind of that was the reason. So I did it, but I guess it's enticing. But if you need it wasn't a huge amount. It was just to cover my credit card bill and pay that off. But I guess it's trying to it may be more enticing if you were. I think it would be more enticing if you were. Maybe they're thinking you're transferring it somewhere else to do it into another investment account, right? Where they're going to lose the fund, really lose your account. I guess we'll see. But no, I did do it anyways because I'd rather pay. I'd rather lose 1% over 90 days than pay pay the 20% for not paying off my credit card in full for there. So that's what it was. They bought part of Westinghouse operations. Yeah, I can't remember the percentage of it, and I was trying to look at it, but it's sometimes hard to find these. They formed a partnership with Kamenko to acquire Westinghouse. That was what it was. I found it here. I wonder if I can share. I think my page does not want to share. It keeps wanting to pull that page for some reason. They partnered with Kamenko to acquire 100% of Westinghouse. So Brookfield has 51%. Good call. Good memory there. MC. And Kamenko will hold 49%. So that was part of the reason I kind of want to add. I see, hopefully, nuclear power is always kind of a hot topic in terms of everything, but I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to power our world, I think. But good memory there for sure. So there we go, Paul. Hopefully that maybe helps you look for a couple of other, maybe some, if you want to keep that sector instead of RNW. There's a few suggestions from MC to maybe look at in the meantime, and just hang on to your RNW. It's up to you, but maybe help you out. Let's close off my pages that I have running here. There we go. All right. Well, we're coming up Q2 already. This one went fast. Always appreciate these comments as everybody comes in and asks questions and goes forward. So I do appreciate everybody that joins on these. If you haven't already, I would like to say hit the like button. We always have a good crew watching. Always have lots of viewers. If you're new and watching and haven't said hi, don't be afraid. Always a good group of people if you have questions. But if you're watching on the replay, watching through, appreciated. But if you have comment or question on anything that we are kind of talking about live that you wanted to get your 2 cents in on the replay, leave a comment, and I will definitely bring it up in a following live stream. We kind of conversations for everybody, so not just people that are watching us live. There we go. That's all I had for everybody. If anybody has any last minute comments, questions, anything like that, fire them up. We'll keep going. Other than that, I do start work at 9:00, and that's it's Thursday. One more day till Friday, and we'll see how we go. And then we'll see how it's funny, I haven't really even looked what the market and stuff's doing today. Like I said, when I joined the stream, I was like running with my coffee to get here. So there we go. We'll start to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Always appreciated. I like these are good start to the mornings. Always do learn a lot. MC, thanks for that link. I'm going to dig more into that. I haven't got the invite for that yet. I did have the invite for the options, which I'm not going to be touching because I do not understand what I am doing there whatsoever. I always thought it might be fun to try it, but it's I think there's better ways for me to lose money on that. MC, did I see? Yeah. Yeah, a Muggsy moment. Thanks. Perfect. Thanks for tuning in on the. Yeah, I'm not a. It is. I'm not a jewelry person. I don't spend money on I don't That's the one thing. That's the one thing I will spend money on. It is, yes. It was. I've had it for years. Probably, I don't know, 6 years. I actually don't remember when I bought it. I bought it when you could buy them. I know you can't. It's hard to find them anymore. I got it through, one of the dealers, but through a coworker that had bought one before. So it's kind of like, in order to get them, you had to kind of like know somebody, and that's how I got it. And I got it. It's actually it's not. I mean, I'm not going to sell the thing. It's kind of silly, but it's actually been a good investment. If you actually look at, I think the prices have kind of come down. I hopefully so far haven't had any issues, but I could see that. I haven't actually looked at I think the prices are quite expensive now. It was expensive back then, but it'll last forever. I've always been a watch person, MC. So I've had various ones, but there's always the one, right? And eventually I was fortunate enough to be able to kind of get one. And it's funny actually how I got it. I had a whole bunch, not a whole bunch, but I had in my safety deposit box, I sold, I had a bunch, and it was because it was doing so well, silver, and I sold it. And that's because it was like, and this is years ago, and it was just like, I made some money on this, so I might as well buy that. That's kind of how I did it. And I sold off. I did have another watch, and I sold those. So it kind of like, I justified it that way. But it's stupid. They're stupid how much they actually. But yeah, the brand. I don't know why it's crazy how expensive they are. It's the only piece of jewelry I have. I don't have any, gold necklaces or gold rings or bracelets or anything like that. I wear the same. I wear the same shirt and pair of jeans every day, and I think I have one pair of jeans and I have a few T-shirts, and that's what I spent my money on. I don't spend my money on much other things. Dressed like a bum, working from home, and that's my one thing that I spend bad amounts of money on. Anyways, that and I guess camera gear is expensive too. But the one thing this is the one thing, you buy something that's good, it will last it'll last forever, a very long time. Same with camera gear. You don't need to buy a new camera every year. The one I've had for 4 or 5 years. It's perfect for me, works well. It's expensive for the gear and stuff, but it'll last. And for, same with watches. If you buy a decent one, if you're into watches, I don't have like, this is the thing, MC, with like, you look at an Apple Watch. An Apple Watch, I always think, not to try and justify a cost of something, but like, they do keep their value. But like an Apple Watch is about $1,000, right? Close to. It depends on what model you buy. And I think it's crazy. That someone would spend like almost $1,000 on an Apple Watch that is going to be obsolete within a few years. Unless you're using it, if you're using it, I guess, for your health, because it does track your health, all that kind of stuff. And sure, spend your money on something, but I think they're a ripoff. I would never pay that much it's funny, I would never pay that much for an Apple Watch, but I'll buy a Submariner. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. That was my one vice that I bought that I wanted for a long time and did it. So, and I look at other ones. Yeah, I look at them all the time. It's an investment, it depends what you're into. If you're into, the Explorers are nice. I looked at those ones too. I literally looked at all of them, years before I was looking at them. And I should have bought one years before because they were that much cheaper. That's the one thing about the watch companies. They do a good job at restricting inventory and only making so many to make them desirable and go up in price. But I won't sell it. I'll probably die with it on my wrist. Anyways, that's all, everybody. Coming up 9 o'clock. I do appreciate it. It's always fun to see where these conversations go. I think, yeah. Anyways, leave it at that. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Hit the like on your way out. We'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be back on. I'll schedule the stream tomorrow. I got to get to work now. Always good to the chat. Thanks, MC. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Nadia. All the crew coming.